Our chemistry is so perfect, it feels like science fiction. Link, onk. Speaking of science fiction, today we're gonna be watching Endless Space 2 review by Seth. Thanks for recommending me to watch more Seth. Here we go.
Hey people, Seth here.
Hello.
Humanity. One day, we will inevitably reach the stars. And one
Why does he sound like he's in a closet?
day, we will inevitably reach other intelligent, sentient, yet utterly alien races. We will shake their many...
Hey, what the freak? Did he just say women? Oh my god. What is that supposed to mean? I'm gonna do alien race. If anything, the men are.
appendages, engage in trade, exchange ideas, and even...
I guess it is the month to come out.
Oh, of the closet? Because he's filming in a closet, so he's... Oh my god. It's Pride Month!
diplomacy, but we all know, inevitably, how this has to end.
Why does it have to end that way?
Welcome to Endless Space 2. Endless Space 2 is a 4X game, which, if you're not familiar with, stands for the 4 X's. Expand, explore, and exterminate all xenomorphs before they do the same to you. Probably, you know, most likely. I've played...
This kind of reminds me of... What is that one game? Is it... No, it's not... Frick. I can't remember. It's not League of Legends. StarCraft, yeah. This kind of reminds me of that StarCraft game. I've never played it, but I've seen like gameplay of it, and it gives me the same vibe.
This turn-based sci-fi strategy intensely for the better part of a month, and before that, about 2 years, and I must confess, it's pretty damn good. Also, there is a story, and it is absolutely critical you understand the lore of this game. In the current job market, Endless Space historians are an extreme...
Does this guy like to suffer? This is a genuine question, because the last game that I saw him review was like the most complicated lore and story possible, in which you had to have like 1,000 hours into the game to even start it. Is this gonna be a similar vibe?
high demand and both starting salaries of about $300K.
What?
Most of the Fortune 500 companies hire at least 2 of them in order to understand what the fuck is going on. The story is told to you through wiki articles, the accuracy of which is questionable because I've edited several articles.
Okay, I just saw 2 people and I think I know what they are.
And they still haven't caught me. In the universe of Endless Space 1 and 2, there is, or was, an incredibly advanced civilization called the Endless. What happened to the Endless? Well, there's less of them. The end. Roll credits. But no, they went to space and they developed technology. They revolutionized...
What the freak? Why is... Is that a real man, or is that a man's head pasted on like a really buff body?
The galaxy by creating dust. Dust is used as money in Endless Space 2, which it is...
Man, I wish dust was used as money. I would be rich. You know the amount of dust that cats like blow over in your house? Oh my gosh, I want all the dust I could take. Wait a second. Cocaine.
It's an autonomous cloud computing network of nanomachines that get smarter as the cloud gets bigger. They're capable of self-assembly, self-autonomy, and farming crypto tokens at rates never before seen
Oh, so
in
they're
the
like
known
nanobots.
galaxy. However, they developed a little too hard when they figured out how to upload your soul. So half of them went on to live as immortal machines running on the 5G network. These were known as the virtual Endless.
Wait, they have canonically 5G in this game? That's kind of silly if they...
The other half, known as the Concrete Endless, considered them an abomination, because it's hard to consider a sentient laptop as intelligent life. Even harder when you find out it's still running Windows Vista. Unable to reconcile their differences, the Endless decided to end each other. The virtual...
Dude, what are these clips? Why are they just like half-naked, kinked up, freaking strapped in men? Touching each other, rubbing each other, oiled up, like what the... Seth, oh wait, he's so on brand for Pride Month.
Unleashed bioweapons on the Concrete. The Concrete sent malware to their mailbox, forcing them to run 3 billion instances of Bonzi Buddy. Needless to say, they wiped each other out. The Endless came to an end, but many...
Is Bonzi Buddy that purple monkey? I've never seen that before in my life.
centuries later,
Yes.
other races figured out space travel, picking apart the ashes and remains
Yes.
of a civilization long forgotten. In the galaxy of the Endless is where our story takes place. So,
Okay.
what do you do in Endless Space 2? Well, you pick a spacefaring civilization and you try to win.
Join
But
it.
what is victory? Victory can be anything. Money, technology, intergalactic conquest, or even weaponizing the influence of e-girl streamers to absorb
What's wrong with e-girl streamers? I guess I'm a V-girl streamer.
every sentient race in the galaxy, because, as we already know, a sentient brain is still capable of falling victim to becoming a simp. The path to victory
A
is your own
simp?
free choice. The game itself is very customizable, meaning there's
Wow.
no reason to pick any speed except fast, any galaxy besides Ovoid, and if anyone dares pick a custom race, we are all going to collectively form a non-aggression pact and hunt you down.
Oh my
Starting off,
God.
you only have a single planet.
It's space racism, just like zodiac signs.
Your home system is very modest, and you need to rapidly scale your operations if you hope to compete with the rest. To do so, you'll need to explore, expand, and colonize new systems. Exploration is
I have no idea what I'm looking at. This is already so complicated. Okay, so you have to explore, expand, and colonize. You don't have a goal. You kind of make up what victory means to you. This feels like life, but you can't have like a chill life. You have to have a life full of like war, colonization, destruction, and growth.
very simple. You send an exploration vessel into the great unknown and watch as it dies to pirates. Before that happens, you'll want to find
Space
as many
pirates.
uncolonized systems as possible. On each planet, there's a chance of finding curiosities. These are the slow, pulsing rings you see on display. To explore
Okay.
curiosity, you need to send a probe. It's quite similar to the probe minigame from Mass Effect 2. If successful, the game will let you know, together with a small reward for finding it before anyone else. These can be anything from strategic or luxury resources, planetary anomalies, or even the start of a random quest line. The point of curiosities is to try and guess which
Okay, so you can have quest lines in this game, but how would you go about them?
star systems are worth colonizing. In general, any system less than 3 planets is garbage. Any system with only cold planets is garbage. In fact, ask enough players and you'll find that every possible star system ever formed by the laws of physics is still garbage. Colonize them anyway.
What the freak? But does that mean we would be garbage on those lines? Because those planets look pretty cool, especially if they're like this green lush and have life.
Because I like the animation that plays each time you do so. There's actually an
Ah.
animation for every type of planet, which I didn't know, because who
Wow.
the fuck colonizes a gas giant as their first choice of planet? It's like, where we dropping, boys? Oh yeah, on the burning gas giant. How are we meant to walk on a gas giant?
I don't
Very
know.
carefully. Anyway, I'm losing track. You choose a star system, and you pick a more reasonable type of planet to be the base of your colony.
Nice,
Most
okay.
factions can't settle a system immediately. They need to form an outpost, send colony support, and convince any other players contesting the system to cease their aggressive expansion.
Wait a second, is this online as well? So it's like a multiplayer game where other people can either infiltrate or work with you?
You can do this through liberal policies, such
Oh,
as
gosh.
stealing their food
Here you come, politics. Oh my god, his name is his YouTube name. I wonder if people in these video games like recognize his name.
supplies, or less liberal policies, also known as an interplanetary blockade, with the sole purpose of starving them to death. Typically, this is how you
Oh my
greet
God.
other players. Otherwise, you blast their ships out of orbit and you get sent a formal complaint, to which you respond accordingly. Diplomacy is an interesting concept.
We do have other
Wait,
things.
you would get sent a formal complaint if you just play the freaking game? Sounds like loser. Sounds like a loser material if you ask me.
To take care of. These are diplomatic channels, not social media. Again? Are you
Social-
just lonely?
Because, unlike many games of a similar nature, diplomacy is a tangible resource.
Wait, was that Civilization and that was Gandhi? Oh my god. So this is a game like Civilization where you can play against other people to like colonize the endless space.
fact, everything is a resource. If you want to condense down the Endless Space 2 experience, you're going to be spending hours of your life trying to increase the 5 colors: green, orange, yellow, blue, and purple. Respectively, these are food, industry, dust, science, and influence, or FIDSI for short. These are the combined economic outputs of your systems. At the beginning, you don't have very much. You can't do very much, so you need more. A lot more. You need food to grow population. Population contributes to the economy and gives you different bonuses depending on the race of that population. But a planet's base output is pathetic, so you need to build improvements. To do that, you need industry, more production. But you can't have industry without research, and you can't have research without science. Besides,
I wonder if this guy likes Factorio. I feel like Factorio is what I think these games are, but for some reason I have this sneaky feeling that this game is 20 times more complicated than Factorio. But my brain can't even process a Factorio game.
Unique variations, every faction follows the same unified tech tree. Supporting larger industry requires dust, a lot of dust. And if you're planning to go to war, exponentially more dust. To even make the formal declaration that you're going to erase someone off the face of the galaxy, you need influence. It is the most precious resource and represents your combined political power. The bigger your influence, the bigger your sphere of influence. This game doesn't work on national borders. It works on raw, intergalactic peer pressure. Have enough influence and you'll absorb everyone without even lifting a finger.
Oh my
God! Besides other
God!
players, there are also minor factions.
Did you know the Nigerians govern a sector?
Actually, you guys want to know something? I've played a board game before called Terraforming Mars. I feel like it's very similar to this. You could literally like choke people out in the board game. Oh my god, this is Star Trek. I remember this. I have a friend who like has Star Trek autism, and so sometimes I will watch Star Trek with them.
Several different humanoid species.
If we say yes, will you feed us?
One of those species is the Benkarans. They occupy just 10% of Nigerian space, but take up nearly 80% of the space in Nigerian prisons.
Oh.
Maybe they commit more crimes.
These are civilizations that are advanced, yet not advanced enough to avoid a simulation. These are very diverse and can be anything from sentient jellyfish, reformed assassin droids looking for God, or even moving chunks of coral reef remotely piloted by a sentient supercomputer the size of a planet, which in itself was formed by random chance. Minor factions exist to be absorbed by other players. Why? Because you get a free system out of it and a unique racial trait. Never underestimate these, because a single good trait can win you the game. There's also pirates.
One good trait could win you the whole game that doesn't feel broken to anybody? Yippee!
Everybody finds me irresistible.
Pirates exist to occupy every system you ever like and reduce the overall quality of your time and space. Luckily, pirates are business oriented and will not.
So the only reason they exist is to be like annoying. That's it.
Trouble you as long as you pay. Also, I like putting pirate marks on all of my friends' colonies. Consider it an indirect way of saying maybe you should move. Now you've got the basics down. What are you meant to do? You're meant to try and you're meant to fail. Endless Space 2 gives you freedom. Freedom to fuck up and suffer the consequences. The tech tree is subdivided into 4 distinct categories: military, economy, science, and empire. Develop your military.
Well, what about the 5 colors? So we got now we got categories on top of that, bro. Oh my god.
Get bigger guns, but you don't get the ships to mount them. You need to develop your empire for that. Then you need a military-industrial complex to facilitate the production of your armada, which forces you to tech economy, not only for developing your systems, but for supplying a constant stream.
Was that a financial assistance button? Oh my god. Let me press that button real quick.
Of dust, because bankruptcy is not an option. For reference, one technology unlock is the difference between abject poverty and having the largest intergalactic trade company incorporated on your home system.
Yes, it sounds extremely fair and not at all complicated.
Get access to the galactic commodities market as well, because it's a biological requirement for me to speculate the stock market in every game I play.
There's a stock market in this game? Holy crap, dude. You might as well just go play the actual stock market. Maybe you can make some money off of it.
and realize you neglected science, which is a problem because every single research you ever research makes every following research more expensive to
I feel like we're neglecting science. As a society, I would love to get back on that.
research. Endless Space 2 is a great galactic scale balancing act. Every action taken is counterbalanced by the opportunity cost of every action not taken. Here's an example. Let's say you found a nice system, but you can't colonize it because each type of planet requires the respective technology to touch ground on their surface. You might spend a bunch of turns teching towards that. As a result, you get a new system. However, your lack of tech leaves you oblivious to the contents. You later find out that ideal Mediterranean planet you picked is filled with dinosaurs. The water is made of mercury, and the atmosphere gives you cancer. If you pump everything into science and
What? I was like, oh, dinosaurs is not that bad. Mercury water? Yeah, you might need to outsource your water. And then what the freak, man?
exploration, you would have found a much better system nearby. Because you explored the curiosities, you know there's plenty of strategic deposits without the risk of melanoma. Even the worst colony has great potential. Given a development plan, systems can compensate for deficiency using luxury. Low birth rate, spike the water with red sand. No production.
What the freak? Why do they keep showing what's his face on screen? Is there something that I don't know about this guy and that other guy?
Use Jadonics. Do people still keep using the term war criminal in your presence? Despite the fact you've clarified multiple times that enemy civilians are indeed active combatants. Bring out the hallucinogenic grapes. Given time, any problem can be solved. Given money, any problem can be solved instantaneously. I don't know exactly how we're going to terraform a planet in a single turn, but I know the next time I look, there better be a fucking jungle
only have one
instead.
turn?
There's a lot of ships in this game, unique to each faction. They're all fully customizable, limited only by the type and number of modules available. Primarily, you're going to use them to intimidate your enemies into submission and to intimidate your friends into working a little harder.
Okay, if they're fully customizable, can I make one look like a penis? I feel like that would intimidate my enemies. If a giant schwang it was floating to your planet, you would be a little bit scared. Actually, I guess they would have to know what it is. Because aliens probably wouldn't know what that is. We probably don't all have the same parts.
On their friendship, your only control over combat is the loadout, formation, and tactics used by your military. The rest...
Gaimani is going to penetrate their defenses. See? You understand.
is a simulation played out by the computer, where each time a ship explodes, you know the cinematic at the end of Diablo 2 where Tyrael throws his sword at the World Stone and it explodes into a billion chunks of...
You can beat Diablo? I don't think I'm thinking of the same game, but that's a sick animation.
wood? Yeah, that's exactly how every ship explodes in this game. Combat is very simple. There's different weapons, which have different accuracies depending on the range of engagement. Flat cannons shred anything up close, including long-range ballistic missiles, but they bounce off armor. Lasers cut ships in half at mid-range, while beam weaponry works at every range. Unless they have shields, you can absolutely get away with filling every slot with a flat cannon, choosing the default tactics card, and still win every fight. Besides interplanetary combat.
So I'm wondering if there are factions already established, or if you have to create the factions. That's something he didn't really go over.
That you can also directly invade. This works on the same principle, which means I'm still going to use the default tactics card, which just so happens to be preemptive orbital bombardment. Many civilians will die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Your chance of success depends entirely on whether or not you have replaced your troops with a mobile suit Gundam. If you
Gundam! Oh my god, you can be a Gundam in this game? That's awesome.
System, you can choose to either spare the population or take a massive hit to your public approval rating by re-educating and reintegrating the native population.
I wonder where this game got that idea from.
corruption into the fucking soil. Which is a good time and segue to talk about politics. In Endless Space 2, you have government, you have Senate, and you have an obligation to represent your people, which is why we have a dictatorship. Power to the masses is power to the upper classes, and any proletariat will see the wisdom of my words. Politics is all-encompassing in
Dictatorship has been established. That notification? Oh my gosh.
Endless Space 2. Any action you take, endorse, or sponsor will shift the political axis of your entire empire. As with real life, the opinions of your people are difficult to manage, their motivations difficult to guess. There's a total
Well, if you're a dictator, then it shouldn't matter because you can just do whatever you want. Unless you're scared of being assassinated, if that can happen in this game.
6 different party ideologies you can choose to support, each two a pair of polar opposites: religious and scientific, militarist and pacifist, ecological and industrial. On top of that, you've got your government. This controls your party representation and how much corruption you can get away with. Democracy has the widest free party representation. It is also the most corrupt because I have no control over my elections. Republics and federations are generally more progressive, offering less representation and more opportunities to correct the result of any rigged election.
Correct the result of an election? But it's rigged, surely.
Dictatorship completely removes the need for underhanded tactics and ensures that all voices are heard and represented by the single party I choose. Every political party holding office has representatives. These are not your average man. These are heroes recruited from the academy. But what is the academy?
Yeah,
you know how I said dust is currency and dust is essentially a cloud computing nanite swarm? Now, imagine smoking it, because the academy does exactly that. They'll hire it.
That's what I'm saying. It's like cocaine. Oh my god. Is this the future?
Nanite augmented crackheads to rule your empire. These are very diverse in both race and specialization. They each have their own unique and interesting backstory. Except Scales. Scales is literally a giant bat that likes to eat zucchini. How is she qualified in any way to be my senator? I don't know. But the people love her. And who am I to say no to
her? Okay, that's not what I assumed the gender would be. Her?
That smile. So, what's the point of political parties? I'll tell you. It's called legislation. And legislation controls the focus of your empire. You can pass laws respective to each party you have in office. The leading political party also enacts their own automatic policy. Scientists let you research high-tech with...
Do you think they'll make any laws about Legos?
Without unlocking it. Religion gives you the moral high ground to escalate a Cold War without legal consequence. Industrialism uses the economy to finance the economy by expanding the economy. How could ecology possibly compete? Well, by giving the public announcement that we don't exactly know how to live on a volcano. So let's do it anyway. Militarist rhetoric not only removes the political cost of war, it actively encourages you to go to war with absolutely everyone. And finally, the pacifists can, at any time, without your consent, force you into a state of peace. Passing law called...
What? Okay, that seems very broken. But like the point of pacifism is you don't force people. You like passively sit there and hope that they follow by example. Sounds not very passive to me.
Influence, depending on the size of your empire. The longer a party stays in power, the more laws you have to choose from. For example, state-enforced eugenics and mandatory sterilization of other races who aren't your own is a relatively simple law to pass with minimal
What? Wait, you can just like exterminate an entire race very easily in this game?
Political experience. Asking everyone to work overtime requires a level of finesse and eloquence only seen in the most Machiavellian.
Oh my god, but working overtime, that's gonna be the hill that these people die on? Yeah, you could sterilize every person in a single race, but working overtime, you're gonna have to kill us.
politicians. Unlike many 4X games, Endless Space 2 has quests. Most of these are faction-specific story missions with branching political options to suit your empire. They're quite interesting, they give you something to do, and most of all, they give you permanent upgrades for the rest of the game.
Oh,
you also
nice,
have
perfect.
multiplayer. How do you play multiplayer? It's quite simple. You all connect to a game, you play for about 50 turns, you forget to make backups of your game, and then everyone collectively desynchronizes. Welcome to Endless Space.
No! What does that mean to desynchronize? Does that mean everyone just like accidentally has different saves? Also, I wonder how long the game is if they have 50 turns.
Space 2 multiplayer. With all that
game
covered,
crashed.
you've got a general idea of how to play Endless Space 2. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. The factions. There are
What do you mean the fun stuff? We were having fun? Also, love the Volters. She's so cunty. Look at her. And the Lumiers?
currently 12 different races to choose. I'm gonna cover them all. The Sophons are a race of intellectuals. Despite this, they talk in a British accent. They're overdeveloped geckos that love science and hate.
Oh my god, the British hate, man. I just realized this guy's not British. Valid.
Personal health and safety. The less people know a technology, the faster Sophons can obtain it. If you want a fairly vanilla faction with an easy science victory, go play the Sophonity. Conversely,
Okay.
Sorry, Link. I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
we have the
What the
Lumeris,
freak?
whose entire ethos, motivation, and philosophy can be crystallized in one word: money. For the Lumeris, no problem is too great, as long as you throw piles of money at it. They also have my favorite faction leader.
Commerce, baby.
The woman.
The lifeblood of this and
Look at her. Look at that. The pair of badongas she's having. I would, for real.
any other galaxy.
Who is probably responsible for every single trade cartel in the known galaxy, and arguably runs more of an economic crime syndicate than a legitimate empire. But I don't care, because Big Titty Fish Mommy is going to buy...
Wow, we're on the same page. That is so funny. Is she meant to be a fish? I guess so, yeah. She has no gills, though.
the galaxy, and I'm gonna help her. If you like making obscene
Amen.
amounts of cash, amphibious mommy milkers, or just winning the game by accident, play Lumeris.
This is why I say, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I feel like if you want men to do your bidding, put a woman in power and make her hot. Then men will be like, yeah, I'll do it. That's why, like, freaking Khaleesi from Games of Thrones, like, everyone was so obsessed with her because she was a hot, powerful woman. Like, who doesn't love that? I love that.
rampant over-industrialization, and the fractured ecosystem that follows. Given such dire conditions, what do you think is the most reasonable course of action?
Blow it
you
up.
Can A, put all your resources into ecological
Oh.
initiatives and repair the sorry state of your planet,
No.
or B, digitize yourself and become a gaming laptop. The Vodyani chose the second option.
Become a gaming laptop? No. That can't be real.
Even better, they made a church out of it. Belief is strength, worship is endless, and heritage
I like their shape, though. They definitely got a good shape going on with their physical form.
are nothing but essence for the harvest. Unlike other races, the Vodyani don't colonize. They travel, they land, and then they harvest. Then we have Horatio.
Come to
Whoa,
pile
Megamind! What the frick? Look at his head! What happened? Oh my god, this is what I imagine whenever the babies come out feet first. This is what I imagine they end up looking like.
most stunning man in the galaxy again?
Originally a wealthy trillionaire, Horatio set out to find his own star system. Along the way, he also found extremely advanced cloning technology.
Oh
so
my God.
he made 1 billion copies of the most beautiful and gorgeous person to ever exist, which
Okay.
was of course Horatio. And then Horatio thought to him,
Oh my god, I love this guy. I love him. He's so freaking iconic.
himself, what better than to fill the galaxy with beauty? What better than to fill the galaxy with Horatio?
Amen.
Horatio is concerned with pressing matters, such as air conditioning. His government, accordingly, is an eco-fascist dictatorship.
Make Horatio great again.
Of course, there are other, less fortunate races than Horatio. But Horatio is not only handsome, he is also brilliant, and thus
I can see it. He's literally like the Squidward. Handsome Squidward. You know what? I'm not even mad about this. I want to look like him.
he finds ways to integrate minority populations by splicing their genetics with Horatio. Yes, many of your less symmetrical friends and family may simply disappear, but know that their memory will live on inside Horatio. Horatio is a classic case of
Oh my god! Well, at least he tried.
careful who you call ugly in high school, because he just might use the entire galaxy as a glorified eugenics program. The United Empire can be summarized in a single clip.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
What the heck? A kid?
The United Empire is an imperialist, expansionist federation where the will of the emperor is absolute. Any construction, any technology, any luxury he so desires, the empire provides. For
Oh.
the emperor does not ask, he commands. And the raw influence of his voice can make the impossible into reality. If you
But
want
how does the emperor become the emperor? I'm so confused. It must be like genetics.
to play not only the most industrious faction, but also the one that generates the most influence just by being industrious, try the United Empire. Propaganda,
Oh, yeah.
patriotism, and the greatest of military-industrial complexes await you. Enlist today, service guarantees citizenship.
Let's
so
go.
far, everyone I covered at least have the option of diplomacy. But what if that's just not in your
Okay, how does Horatio have the option of diplomacy? I don't know about that one. I could see how all the other ones do.
nature?
What do you sound like when you scream?
The Cravers are fucking terrifying. As a leftover bioweapon made by the Virtual Endless, they only have one purpose.
What?
Consume everything. Any planet with Cravers on it has
Consume?
a fixed life expectancy, because the Cravers will rip it, strip it, and tear it apart. And
Oh my
then
God.
They move on. There is no long-term plan. There is no sustainability. There is no choice but to consume you as well.
We are
Consume for what reason? Like, I'm confused. I get what they want the resources and stuff, but surely they have their own planets and they would use the resources?
coming.
Trees. Do you know how fast a tree
Whoa.
moves? Not very fast. The
No.
Unfallen are a race of trees. They
Do
speak
trees move? That must have been a joke.
with a Scottish accent.
Why do you pester the heart?
Hey, wait a second. I've seen this guy somewhere. Or maybe I'm getting it confused with Hollow Knight, but it looks so familiar.
Your petty needs.
Much like the Scottish, trees are rooted to the ground. They
Okay.
don't do much, and their only way of winning the game is to ask you politely, do you know how they colonize other planets? They
How?
need to slowly, delicately, without interruption, entwine them with celestial vines and hope or pray that they didn't start next to Cravers. If you enjoy pressing and turn and being a vegetable, you'll enjoy playing the Unfallen. Imagine being an ostrich. Now, imagine evolving to the point where you're used as arena blood sports for the entertainment of an advanced,
Oh my
decadent
God.
civilization. Then that civilization gets wiped out. You get your freedom and form a tribalistic society of samurai ostriches. Then you accidentally stab your katana through a giant ship,
what?
and suddenly you're a major faction. The
Oh my gosh. That's the beginning of this faction or race? Sometimes I hear stuff like Horatio and United Empire, and I'm like, yeah, I can understand where they got that idea from. And then I hear this faction, and I'm like, somebody took a huge hit of a bong and said, guys, I got an idea. After watching like a nature documentary about ostriches.
show were added with the Supremacy DLC, together with the main source of tears and salt on the Endless Space 2 forums, Behemoths. Behemoths are multi-purpose capital-class ships. They can support the bureaucracy, plutocracy, or theocracy, accelerate genocide, accommodate homicide,
yes.
extract resources in a remote situation, and even terraform planets for improved
I love accelerating genocide and assisting in homicide, or whatever the guy said.
habitation. They can do anything. That's why they're insanely expensive and you get very few of them. But that's not why people got upset. They got upset because the Behemoth is a precursor to something a little more concerning. A planet
Oh?
killer is morally dubious, leaves millions of grieving survivors, and generally causes public unrest. A
What the
system
heck?
killer accelerates a megaton nuclear payload directly at the sun, causing it to expand into a red supergiant as the core collapses and begins to fuse hydrogen. In a single
What?
nanosecond, all life in that solar system is gonna need some SPF 70 sunscreen. The Obliterator is a system killer which is made by upgrading a behemoth, and prior to many updates and patches, had
I like the Steam review. Obliterator is ridiculous? Question mark, question mark. Girl, me too. Like, in what sense or scenario would anyone create anything like that? It's so unrealistic.
no effect on public relations. I found this incredibly entertaining. Because the missile actually has to travel to its destination, it often took several turns for enemy players to see the ball of light quickly approaching their home system.
Oh
At this
my
point,
God.
you will notice something. The chat functionality, inside which you will see a stream of colorful messages calling you a number of racial slurs, after which
Oh my God, he's saying I'm he knows his YouTube channel.
player will mysteriously disconnect and add you as a friend on Steam. Even after numerous nerfs, the Hisho stand tall. For the Hisho, combat isn't just about winning, it's about honor, which they call Kai because they're a race of weeaboo samurai chickens. The more honorable your actions, the more Kai you generate, the more obedient your empire. And if it ever falls too low, just remember, Aztec blood sacrifices are a great way of gaining popularity.
Yippee!
Vaulters are the DLC race designed to completely invalidate the Sophons, because for Vaulters, location is no issue. We've got portals for that. Disconnected system with
Wait,
no clear
what?
star.
What? They have like jump portals? That's crazy. Like, what is that one movie from Marvel? Guardians of the Galaxy.
Lane, even better. The typical Vaulter player will usually fuck off to the four corners of a galaxy and quietly win a science victory before we can even find them. Also,
Nice,
their
perfect.
mothership, the Argosy, can be used as a two-way portal. I very much enjoy parking outside an enemy system, warping in my Obliterator, and cooking them instantaneously. The
This guy got a hold of the Obliterator and decided this is gonna be my time. I'm gonna make everyone have a terrible day.
Born are Tetris blocks from another universe,
I
which
love
is
Tetris.
currently overrun with super aids. In a last act of desperation,
Sorry, what? Super what?
the Riftborn entered our universe. To them, it's a dystopian reality filled with all manner of squirming, wriggling
Ew.
creatures that piss and shit
Opossum.
everywhere. From their perspective, they just took a one-way ticket to hell. However, they don't judge. They just want to survive.
Whoa.
Unlike us,
I know that girl doesn't have any like shoulders or limbs, but something about that looked good to me.
Born aren't born, they're made in the construction queue. Otherwise, they work a lot like us, except
who?
in reverse. Terrestrial planet, I sleep. 1,000-degree lava planet with no trace of life, real shit. Colonize immediately. Hey, it's a race of abstract geometric polygons. Give them a break. Luckily, they can also break reality by compressing or dilating the flow of time.
Wait,
and
what?
if you've ever been to a college fraternity, you'll have no problem pronouncing their names. The second last DLC, Penumbra, introduced a controversial mechanic: hacking. It's a nice way to grab intel, sabotage enemy systems, and of course, accidentally turn a Craver government into a pacifist dictatorship. With
Wait,
that,
what?
They also added
Pacifistic dictatorship? That sounds like an oxymoron.
the Umbral Choir. The Umbral Choir is an immaterial, intergalactic wraith with good intentions. Like a ghost in the machine, the Umbral Choir spreads by hacking absolutely everything. Every transmission is tapped. Every system is compromised.
Oh
and
my
we have
God.
no trace of who did it. Because the Umbral Choir doesn't want to be found. How do you fight something you can't see? How do you stop
can't?
something that's already inside the wire? And if it's already inside the wire, then how do you know it isn't inside you already? Honestly, they're extremely fun to play, especially when your friends mouse over a system and ask why half of their GDP keeps disappearing into the Craver pension fund. Finally,
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. You could literally just hack into people's like dust funds and then remove. You're literally like a scammer, but you get to be a freaking race of people and take over the endless space planets.
It's a good time to talk about the last DLC,
Okay.
Awakening, which adds Vanakalim, a fairly interesting religious
Vanakalim.
faction that I personally enjoyed, but also...
Okay, there's always some junk in these like sci-fi games or like stories, books, what have you, where they bring out some person and race of people that looks just like they were straight from Egypt. It's so weird.
adds the Academy as a separate AI-controlled faction. Now, let me tell you why that's a problem. Because
Why?
the leader of the Academy, bear with me, I don't know how to pronounce his name, because Isendir takes territory which he doesn't need away from players. He can also enter your territory, destroy your fleets, and siege your planets.
Okay.
But Lord forbid you manage to sink one of Isendir's ships, which, by the way, are stronger than any other faction.
Okay,
That's
cool.
an act of aggression, and he's going to ask you to pay reparations. Small side note, if you're getting harassed and abused by Isendir and you want him to stop, you can't. Until you discover the location of the Academy, you can't even do diplomacy. Now, let's say you
Dang.
forgive all that. You're open-minded, and you're wondering, what's the point of a new Academy?
I am once again asking for your financial support.
Every 10 turns, Isendir will ask for your most generous financial contribution to the Academy. The
Oh
highest
my
contribution
gosh.
will get their preferred position within the Academy.
Oh,
After
okay,
another 10
perfect.
turns,
I am once again asking for your financial support.
also, he's been expertly programmed to forget any positive relations you had before, which
Oh
may
my
surprise
god,
you.
so
since
he's just like super annoying. This guy just sounds the most annoying update to this game yet.
he'll go back to neutral and start attacking you. Better pay up, because you can't contribute to the Academy until you've paid reparations.
Oh,
If you
of
try to
course.
take his home system, he'll demand you give it back and pay reparations. Who the fuck made this shit? Oh right, it's not even the same studio. They outsourced this.
Oh,
and I say kill them all.
to
All the
Argentina?
other DLC up until Penumbra, fantastic. Love it. Awakening is about $13 you can spend to make the game worse. It's such garbage that even if I got it for free, I'd still ask for a refund. We could talk hours about strategy, metagame, and the eternal question we always return to.
What?
Is Endless Space 2 balanced? No, it is
No.
not. There are many
Yeah, I could tell you that. I could 100,000% tell you that. How it must be literally impossible to balance a game like this with like a million moving parts. I know you're playing a god, but the person who made this game isn't God.
mods to try and fix this, but ultimately, part of what makes this game so interesting is the element of randomness, forcing you to adapt and overcome the circumstances to the best of your ability. There's many players out there who will constantly demand you remake the game, citing that they don't have an optimal 5-planet system adjacent to them and can't possibly compete. If you don't, they disconnect. The equivalent of this is being born on planet Earth to a middle-class family. And
I wonder if there is a way you can get punished for disconnecting so often, because it seems like it happens a lot in this game.
immediately committing suicide to try and re-roll for better RNG. Because
Oh my
if
God.
I can't be born as the son of a wealthy Middle Eastern sheikh, I may as well not be born. Endless Space 2 is a wonderfully designed and beautifully made game with such a
Wow.
level of pace and intrigue that I actually bought a legal copy. I've played it for 2 years and I still keep coming back. It's
Wait a second, so what are we watching right now? Is it only available on the Xbox?
satisfies every tick box I ever wanted for a civilization game in space. It's enjoyable and relaxing both in single player and in multiplayer. You're probably going to desynchronize before anyone actually gets angry. I like the
Okay.
music and I enjoy amphibious mommy milkers. I give
Yeah.
Endless Space 2 an extremely high score. I am also issuing
Two?
a public
He was literally about to say his score was 2 something.
law against anyone responsible for the Awakening DLC. This time,
Oh.
there's no discount, because my inside man had a talk with Sega. Their formal response? Fuck off. So I recommend waiting for a sale, buying on discount, or using other legal methods of purchase that I am not yet aware of. As
What the freak does codex.info mean? Oh my god, he just showed off like probably the most illegal ways to get things.
always, more content to come, so stay tuned. I'm sorry for all the delays. Streaming really put me back. A warm thanks to the many
Wait,
members
he's a streamer? No Why?
Of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Take care and have a good one.
Okay, now it's like 1 million Patreon list. Look at that. Holy crap. Also, this animation's sick. This is so cool. The animation of this game, you could just tell. I always wonder how many years of work does this like a game like this cost to make. I hope this isn't copy striked. Uh-oh. Let's go. These are so cool.
I was thinking about Seth's goddamn, his stupid monkey, sissy monkey hypnosis the other day.
What? Stupid monkey sissy hypnosis? You wish. Thank you so much for watching this epic react video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you liked it, if you'd like me to watch more Seth, or anything else. I try to read and react, like, and respond to all comments. I'll put a playlist on your left. I guess we'll make a Seth playlist. Ooh. And then you can subscribe on the right or down below. Pretty please, we're almost to 10K subscribers. I'm so excited. Let's do it. Anyway, I stream on Twitch. Come say hi to me. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye, YouTube.